With that, I want to introduce our first presenter, Larry Kuhn, who's with OIT. Larry is the manager for the business intelligence team and also supporting the Office of Institutional Research IT. So, welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Chris. Good morning, everyone. So, of course, we get into a big room. I'm talking over the din, and I lose my voice in about 20 minutes. So, and I only have 4 of these too, so it shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. Fortunately, I'm only talking for like 5 minutes. They're the show. I'm just gonna sort of set the table for you guys and talk about these 2 project presentations in context. First of all, I want to introduce here Nevin, who's on IT's project developer. He is in charge of producing the app reporting, so we're giving the previous university app reports that are going to be coming out, and also Kevin Chung from the county. Kevin, somebody said he kind of helped us financial services manager. Is that right?
Financial management support.
So if you ever email KFS at UCI.edu, it goes back to him. And Kevin will be showing us the ABO report. So what we do with Cadros is a full-featured business intelligence tool. And you can think of some of the power of this thing kind of like a pyramid, where at the bottom of the pyramid we have a lot of what you might have seen already. KFS with other reports, operational reports. I want to get this specific report, getting this specific data. It's as serving as a simple reporting tool. But Cadros has a lot more power than that. And when you start to move up this pyramid, you start to move up in sort of the power and capabilities of the people. So when you move up the pyramid, you can get this slice and dice type of tool, right? One report that can be very versatile. I mean, look at this. Oh, that's great. Start reconfiguring that report and look at different things, explore ideas. You can start looking at things that you can shape in your own way. When you get even farther up in this, you have different tools, statistical, predictive analytics that let you model things in the future. So the budget office, for example, is using this Team1 tool that lets them do financial projections based on any criteria that they want to set up. SPSS is the IBM statistical package that works in lockstep with Cadros. Once you start to get farther and farther up, you start to get into dashboards, things that give a holistic picture of the campus or the department or a unit. That let you from there kind of get at a glance what's going on. Oh, that's curious. It's hard to drill farther. So we're building these capabilities now. A lot of the reporting that we have today is servicing this need, but as we start to build up more and more data, we're building more and more of this up, and we're building to a system where we're going to put tools and power in everybody's hands to get their own information from the data. This presentation, Cadros 1, we're focusing more on this layer, and then the next presentation is just going to be a couple talk. We're going to focus more on this layer and show you some of the slicing and dicing that we can do. But in the meantime, we're going to show off some of the KFS ABO report, and also we're going to show off some of the things that we're going to do with the standard reporting that's going to be with TCCAS. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. My name is Kevin Chung. So I'm here to talk about the ABO report. So many of you guys have seen this before. I'm going to advertise this again. The ABO report is effectively, it stands for the Award Balance Overview. So here's a sample screenshot of the Award Balance Overview. And the concept behind this report is for PIs and for analysts to instantly get back the entire post-award portfolio for a given PI or a given project director. So it'll list out every single award. So here, as you can see, we have 2 awards. Where are the bigger anthills for anthill finding technology, and also our anteaters, the cutest animals. I personally think they are. So it gives you a consolidated view, and it allows you to drill through and explore, okay, well, what are the accounts that are underneath this award, and what's the balance for each of those accounts. In addition, there is a projections tab that we just recently added. It's up on the top. For those of you that are in the financial world for research, that tab is populated with the PI report details. So those of you guys that input projections in the PI report, every night we get that data and we show it on that second tab, so you can see your projections on the same One of the nice things about drilling into the award balance overview is you can get a lot more data. So this is actually an interactive breakdown of the last, I believe, 12 months based on today. And you can click on every single one of these months, and that pie chart is going to dynamically change and give you a breakdown of, okay, well, this is how much salaries you had for this month. This is how much equipment you had for this month. It's going to give you the numbers right here. And you'll also notice that for this report, the salary and wages general assistance, you can actually click down on that to see the salaries or the employee names associated with that number. So if you have the right security for the ABL report, you will be able to see the details for it. So that's one of the reports that is really, really heavily used at the bottom of this pyramid, but also at times up at the top where the executive management or project directors want to see their portfolio. So with that, does anyone have any questions? Or questions at the end, sorry. So that's the award balance overview. Please check it out. You can get to it through SOP portal or through the accounting website under contracts and grants.
So I'm actually going to do a live demo of the distribution of payroll expense, also known as the DOPE report, as well as how some of the reports in UCPath will link. So the DOPE report actually does link to the job distribution. So everything right now is in development. This will be pushed out along with the UCPath deployment. So what we wanted to do was create a very sort of user-friendly and in-depth way that you can slice and dice the data coming out of UCPath. So this one is similar to the PPP 530 that currently exists for the payroll expenses out of EDL. And we wanted to create a simple view that allows users to easily get in and quickly look at what they're used to based on their accounts, as well as provide a little bit more flexibility and utilize Cognos functionality and provide a lot more in-depth analysis that you can customize it a lot more and change the parameters that you're looking for. So I'll run it. So this is looking at some test data. So I will be running for a single account. So what I'm looking at is the payroll expenses for all of 2019 for this specific account. And this is the standardized view, similar to what currently exists, where you have some job information and then your salary and fringe benefit costs associated with each. The blue links do link back. So this report to tie back the payroll expenses to the funding that was associated with the employee, we linked two of our main reports. So if you click on the employee name, it'll run our job distribution report, which is where it'll have all the funding distribution. So this employee is 50-50 split funded. So you'll be able to see where their pay is divvied up. And then also from the DOPE report, there's the ability to run a detailed view. So here you'll be getting a lot more columns. You'll be able to sort the report a little bit differently. You'll be able to filter it in a more in-depth way. You'll be able to change the report type. So instead of looking by an FAU, if you want to look by an employee, or if you want to look at all your earned codes, if you're looking for all your overtime balances, you can group it by that. And a lot of the reports that have a wide number of fields, we provided this column options where you can do a minimum view, a maximum view, or customize, where you can pull in additional columns that may not have existed on the simple view. So I'll run this report with the exact same account, and then I'll play with the columns within inside. So from a filtering standpoint, I didn't change anything but the account, or I didn't change anything from the simple view. And now when I run it, I'll have options at the top to include more columns. So let's say I want to include the pay group, as well as the KFS org, the project, employee class description. You can select that and then click apply, and it'll add all of the columns to the report output. We also have the ability here to, if you want to look at a more condensed view, you can remove the subtotals report. We only want to find the employee, you can do that, and click apply. So now we'll only see subtotals for each employee. And then all of the UC Path reports will have two buttons in the top right with the ability to export to PDF and then export to Excel data, which is similar to how data warehouse is. And you'll just get the raw data dumped into Excel. And then from here, so like if you're looking for a specific org or an Apple class, you can go back to the front page and start customizing these if you're looking for very specific types of payroll transactions. And then on the distribution of the job distribution report, so this is also a standalone report, but what we were trying to do is a lot of the times where there is a link between them, I am linking the report. So if you're looking at this job distribution report, if you click on the job code, it'll link back to show if it has any shift differentials, so this job code does not. But also, if you click on the employee ID, you have the ability to look at two different reports. The additional pay, which is where any reoccurring additional pay components will be, so stipends, bonuses, stuff like that, or the multiple components of pay, which will include all of the compensation for an employee, so their UC annual and so on.
Just so you know, this is all anonymized data. We're not breaking any policy by showing real employees.
Yes, this is all scrambled mass data. So we'll go to another report. So this one, there was no data for this one. That's all I have. And open up for questions? Yes.
So will the general ledger, will we be able to like drill down and will it like work with, link with the DOPE reports?
Yes,
Okay.
so that's a new feature that because we are moving on, moving the user packet into Cognos, and it's all pretty much the same system, they can now talk to each other, right? So when you're looking at your general ledger, and you see that salary line, you
Yeah.
click on it, and then it'll jump into the UC Path world, pick up the security, and show you the salary and fringe details.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes.
How often will the salary pull from UC Path onto this report? Would you say it's current?
It'll be as it's approved and sent to us. So we'll be getting data refreshes nightly. It's just there's a timing with the UC Path Center in terms of when they'll be pushing the data to us.
So it should be approximately like 48 hours. Or
Yeah, we're being told right now between 24 and 48 hours.
Any other questions?
They have the shortest presentation in history of Techno Expo.
Yeah. So is this only for this UC Path implementation, or is the Cognos, you're making the technology available to all teams to use for the project?
Cognos itself is our general reporting tool supported by OIT. So UC Path reports are developed in Cognos, but Cognos itself, all the KFS reports are done in Cognos. Student reports that you'll see if you stick around for the next presentation are done in Cognos. We have opened up Cognos for anybody on campus to be able to learn how to develop their own reports. So you can get in, if you have customized versions of financials, if you have some new application for reporting or analytics that you want to use. My team provides training for Cognos, so we offer a one-day Cognos developers course, typically once a month. We offer that course. So by the end of that one day of training, you'll be able to get and develop your own Cognos reports off of data that you have access to.
How do you get access to this? Is it in KSAM tools as well, or is there another process of getting access to subsets?
Yeah, all of the access is controlled through KSAMs. Now, there are two different aspects of this, right? One is what capabilities do you have with the tool, right? Can you just get in as just to view reports? Well, that's everybody on campus with UCI ID. Can you develop reports? Well, that's, depending on which domain of data you're looking at, campus or whatever, you need a separate role for that. Or can you get in and connect Cognos to back-end data That's an even higher level of access. So we control that through different levels of KSAM's rules. But then, what data do you have access to? What data can you point this at, right? So that's another set of rights that you need to have. So you need to be able to use the tool and you need to be able to use it with the data. Yes, sir.
So, and I don't know if you'll be able to speak to this at all. So there was also a session on DW query. So can you explain the difference on when DW query might be more appropriate or Cognos might be appropriate, or
Yeah.
how they work together?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. So there are multiple reporting business intelligence tools that are available now. In fact, we're going to be adding more to the mix because we're looking at getting support for Tableau on campus. So it's not so much which tool, we try to be a little bit tool agnostic, although there are certain tools we support on campus, Cognos being the main one. Now, for the bottom layer of that pyramid, a lot of different tools can be used. DW query being another one. How many were here for the 11 o'clock DW query presentation? A few of you were here. So you saw that tool. That's our homegrown tool for just producing columnar reports of data. And we're making that tool better and better as time goes on. We're providing additional functionality with it. But for going in and getting access, give me the data. DW query is a great choice for that. But for anything with a little bit more power, the KFS reporting where we put things together in a certain way to make it easier to report on, data marts. We use Cognos for that. Anything more advanced, any real like visualizations, any higher end analytics, Cognos is going to be a great choice. And then Tableau, once we get Tableau deployed, Tableau is a great tool for saying, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, and it looks beautiful with minimal training. So think of it like one of those Venn diagrams, the three overlapping circles. There's some overlap between those tools, and in many cases, any of the tools could do what you want it to do. It just depends on, are you in the territory where you need a specific tool, like Cognos because it's higher analytics, or Tableau because you want to train somebody to do a visualization that you want to present to somebody, or do you agree? Slap some data together quickly. So in many cases you can take your pick, but in some cases you're going to want to go with one of those. Yeah.
When this report goes live, will we be able to pull payroll prior to UCPath go live?
So prior to payroll prior will still be in data warehouse where it currently is.
Okay.
When UCPath cuts over, all the UCPath payroll expenses will be coming out of this report.
Okay.
So we will not be pulling in historical payroll transactions into the UCPath environment.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, thank you all for coming. We're going to do the Cognos 2, where we're going to be showing a little bit more of the more advanced things we can do with Cognos in that one. Feel free to stick around for that, or feel free to go and join us.
Anybody has the evaluation form, there's a